Look, bro, everything was way deeper than it appears to be, right? Life isn't something you're born into. Rather, life is a cause from the effect of you. I said to say that you think that everything going on around you is something that you're within, when really it's the reverse. Everything going on around you stems from us. Like, we're the centerpiece, right? So when I say that, the point of that is it's mainly our energies that are rippling out into this world that then cause a lot of shit disguised within physical events to counter the energies that are coming from the real souls. Because not as many beings that you think are even the real souls on this planet, as in like the energies of life with their own consciousness that really interact with life around them. Like, there are real souls that you could feel the energy of when you're around, and then a lot of people are clones. A lot of people are human beings. They don't even have a soul. That you're white people, you're Asian, you're Chinese and Japanese, you're fake Mexicans, Dravidian and Arabs, right? And then you have a lot of shapeshifters, extraterrestrial races that shapeshift into the human form. When I say human, we must differentiate that human means that I say that scientifically to identify the species of what you think is a white person, right? Made in the image of my species that comes from nature, right? And with us, my species, not as many of us as you think are really on the planet, even though there is a lot of us. There's a lot of shit going on to where what I'm trying to get at is, like, things are a lot more honed in on the real beings than you think. Like, if there's like 50 people that live on your street, there's really only 10 of you that everyone else is focused on, and all this shit around you is a stage, and most people are actors, and they're really monitoring you through all their technology, their devices. Like, the so-called government is really monitoring the few real soul. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? And so what I'm trying to say is that because the energies that are taking place on the planet are taking place as they are, that's why you see everything amping up, and particularly the way it is. What I mean by that is, when I do my energetic work as the real soul I am, like, I'll not look online for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it'll be when I start really tapping into real energy. And then it'll be when I come and look online, it'll be like, in those past 3 weeks, the most craziest shit will be developing in the realm of this physical world. But it's like tied into the energy of what I'm doing, tied into the energy of what's being released into Planet Kai, because the system and the idea of Earth and the whole world that's going on within that whole idea that everyone's living in, that's all, again, an illusion. That's all a stage. That's the world stage. That's really just a distraction that's put to pull away from the real agenda, which is focused on the real souls on this planet of the real Anunnaki gods who think they're human beings, the so-called blacks, Latinos, the descendants of the real indigenous beings of this land who have been put into this system. So we are here to live in our land, but now there's a system on our land that we're born within. We're here to get back on our land, though, outside of the system that's temporarily living on our land. We are beings of this planet, not beings of any country, any corporation. We are not beings that belong to any of these foreign entities that have built themselves on our planet, right? And so what I'm saying is, we, as the real beings of this planet, most of us in a sleep state, are operating within this system where around us, everything going on around us for the most part is really focused on us, and we don't even know it. Like the real life Truman Show, except it's not just one person, it's my whole species, and they're monitoring us like it's the Truman Show. Because in the Truman Show, it was just, the one guy, and it was the whole fake town, and everything was, picture that on a worldwide scale, with my species being brought into a system where everything introduced to us through that system has been made to oppress us, poison us, and keep us zombified and disconnected from the real history of our planet and the real history of our species and what's really taking place on our planet. Because the moment we do, we're going to rise up and start fighting them and resume back to the war state we were before they got us to be in this docile, pacified state once they brought us into their cattle slavery within these systems. You feel me? And so what I'm saying is, because I am a real soul, and the real souls of this planet is what this system is built around, and they're monitoring us and basing everything around us, Every time I'm interacting on a deep level with that energy of planet Kai and tuning in with all these energies, the more I'm activating with the planet and the more I'm rippling out all this energy, which has a real effect within the ethers of the planet. It's like the more I break away from this matrix, but then retune to this matrix, it's only when I'm channeling super high vibration frequency that this matrix starts glitching out and acting up and freaking out. And it'll be like, I can be 5 months not tapping into a high frequency and everything will be 3D, brain dead, everyone's living a normal life. The moment I start tapping in, breaking from that zombified state again, reactivating my higher self, raising to higher frequencies, next thing you know, countries are bombing each other, crazy shit's happening again, the matrix is glitching out again, and you would think it has no correlation. What I'm trying to say is the energies that are coming into the planet is what's stirring up everything that's happening within the physical realm, because they're only reacting to the energy that I and the rest of the real souls on this planet are bringing into Planet Kai. This is all distraction to pull your attention away from the real energies of what's taking place on the cosmic scale, what's really taking place in the skies, what our cosmic family is doing down here, the Galactic Confederation, which is really moving through way past the physical veil, where it's like that thing in Percy Jackson where they sprayed the mist and all the regular people, the mortals, they wouldn't see what was happening right in front of them. But Percy Jackson would see the real shit that, like, he would see the real form of, for example, the teacher that turned into that weird fairy creature. But to everyone else in the room, she still looked like a regular teacher because they're spraying what they called the mist in Percy Jackson. What that was getting at was, there's real things working through everything you see appearing in the physical, but in the physical it might just appear as, we just went to a war with Iran. But there's so many forces working through that, of so many things taking place that you don't really know about, that in the physical realm appears as something very just logical and physical and watered down. But there's lots more taking place on higher realms and different dimensions within this planet that ties into what's taking place within the physical, that appears like all these events are just taking on, that are just happening, and the energy is amping up to that level. But that's really, again, a reflection of what's taking place within that energy that's coming from the cosmos, beaming into the real beings of this planet who are waking up. And as a result of us waking up, the system is adapting to us waking